freak, I want my socks. I can't film without my socks.
Dude, go on. Nobody gonna see your Keith
socks.
toes.
Bro, I don't care. I know ain't nobody gonna see my Keith toes, because my Keith toes gonna be concealed by socks.
You know, one day someone's gonna ask the reference, so what are Keith toes? Her daddy.
My
Her
daddy's
toes.
name is Keith. And his mom's name is Edith.
Stop. You call that
She gonna have to be all right.
I mean, I don't think she
Every
has a
time I
choice.
see her, it's like, oh, what's up?
And you know, her head, she like, Nanny. Just call me Granny.
You are my dad's mom. Okay.
Which makes her, you know what? I'm not gonna go down that
I mean,
road.
I get it.
I mean, no, I get it, but also it's like if you call him Keith, I'm gonna call you Keith and then, hey, Granny.
Yeah, you
Nah, dog, that's weird.
Like, your name is Edith.
Granted, all I can think about now is a little girl from Despicable Me. It's a unicorn.
Is her name Edith or something?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that.
Edith is the one like has a hat on and she low key be like, she cool with it.
That's an old name.
I mean,
For
to
a
give a
little girl,
6-year-old,
yeah.
for sure. I mean, but I guess they'll grow into it one day. You know, you're like, 75. They'll grow into it. I mean, I should have said anything about my middle name. My middle name is a really old middle name.
So is mine.
I know. That's why I said when we get old, we're going by middle names.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance.
That is really in your head.
I wanna praise you.
I'm so glad it's bopping with you,
I wanna
friend.
praise you.
Hey, that song used to be a lit song back then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me tell you something.
And it's funny because that song is not even the song that's in my head. Somebody sampled it.
And it's like,
And that song is in my head.
I'm telling you. Brother, have you heard the original song of that though?
I believe so, yeah.
Homie. Circle the young teenager group or like young adult, like, I don't know, like middle school group. When they try to give like a hype Christian song, that song right there. Acting a whole fool.
What it is, y'all. What's up? Welcome to the word. It's Keyah Rose.
It's Naomi. What's goody?
What woo? Do you want to pray before we start?
I mean, that would be wonderful.
Okay, go ahead.
Fam, I am waiting on you.
I am waiting on you, friend.
Why are you waiting on me? I feel like the other person who's not as nervous should definitely pray.
I pray for your nervousness to be taken away from your body. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I'm content with that prayer.
It's not a good prayer, friend.
That was a very good prayer.
It's not.
It was. You prayed for what I needed and it was done.
Yeah, but usually when you pray for like everything.
Okay, so pray for everything.
It
was the immediate.
Yeah. What's funny is I looked at our last video, and I looked at your prayer, and I was like, okay, I gotta remember that.
No,
so I know what to say next time. What did you say? Dear Heavenly Father, I pray that your will be done. I pray that you relieve Naomi of her nervousness, and me of mine, even though there's not much. But okay, and I pray that we have a successful episode this episode. I pray that this is the episode that takes us far. Ooh. I pray that everything goes how it is supposed to be. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. That was a great prayer, buddy. Good job. That was really good. I'm proud of you.
All right, guys. For today's episode, we're going to be digging a little deep.
Deep-ish. That sounded real intense.
I know. I'm just messing with
her. Yeah, I'm not an emotions person.
Naomi does not like being in her feels.
I do not. I feel like sometimes they're best unfelt.
That's tough.
It is. I'm not going to lie to you.
Today we're going to talk about it.
I think I should let you talk and I listen.
No.
All right. It was worth a shot.
No, but why I feel like it's important for us to talk about the things that we're going through right now is because in the midst of these hardships, God is still very much present and he's still very much good. So I want someone to be inspired by this recording. So Naomi's gonna go first, so she can go ahead and get it over with.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like talking about
She does
emotions.
not.
It really, I the anxiousness that I have had before this here episode.
She's been acting funny.
Woo! And it's not even intentionally acting funny towards her.
No.
I am not that kind of
I've been
person.
getting some tude.
Ooh, it has not been tude.
It's like a tinge of tude.
It's a tinge of tude.
It's a tinge
I'm
of tude.
sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't mean to have a tinge of tude.
No, but you do have one.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
I'm really working on it. I'm really trying not to.
It's okay. Go ahead and tell your story.
It's not really a story per se. Yeah. When Keyah brought this idea of an episode like a week ago, my immediate mindset was, man, I should be sick that day. I'm not going to even hold you, dog. When you said emotions, you was like, you're not going to like this. I said, okay, emotions, that sounds good. In my head, I was like, so how sick?
Oh my
like,
gosh.
would she believe me if I came to work the next morning looking fine?
No.
You know, when Keyah talked about talking about emotions, if you cannot tell, I don't like it. But God is working with me on that about like, it's okay to show emotion. Like, it's okay to, because I think the whole point of this video is like progression, right?
Absolutely.
Progression, things like that. I think that is where God is working with me right now, is like my emotions, because I'm not a super emotional person. Most of the time, I'm pretty here with it. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to have really peed me off for me to go up there.
Yeah.
Like, or you just done did so much, and now I'm like, all right, violence. Like, and I'm working on that, because that's not the answer.
See, the thing about you is you get angry, but you don't get like emotional. Mm-mm.
My anger is rage.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm really, really working on like not being that way, because like you said, I'm not an emotional angry. I'm a rage angry. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I'm like, ooh, God's like, hey girl, hey, wrong time, wrong place. And he's right. Mm-hmm. But as far as like emotions other than rage, I'm just not, I don't want to say I'm closed off to my emotions, but I very much like to process my emotions like by myself on my own. Like, I know there are some people who are like, when they're emotional, like, oh my gosh, let me talk to you. I am the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. If I'm emotional, I want to be by myself, secluded. Let me process my emotions, let me process my feelings, and then I will come tell you how I feel. Okay. And I've already worked through it.
Okay. Please tell your story.
You know, I really wish you would just let me go around the story. But that's the thing, it's not really a story. It really is like that. That's what God's working on me with. Like, when it comes to like progression, it's the thought of like being open and able to share emotions. Like, I said some episodes ago, I can't remember if that was in these cuts or not, that, you know, I prayed for the friends that I have now. I very much prayed. My two best friends, I prayed for them. Like, I prayed that God would give me the kind of friends that he knew my heart needed. And he did. And he had to remind me the other day, like, because both of them, I love y'all. Mm-hmm. Y'all, they're emotional. Both of them are emotional friends. Mm-hmm. I'm the kind of friend that's like, oh, it's okay. Tell me about it. Let's talk it through. Like, what can we do? How can we solve it? Like, that kind of thing. I'm that kind of friend, right? But God and Michaela recently both were just like, you do realize that, like, this friendship goes both ways. And I was like, yeah, for sure, man. They're great friends. Mm-hmm. They support me and everything. It's so nice. Mm-hmm. And God was like, yeah, emotionally. And I went, I'm good with you, really. Mm-hmm. But God he's working with progressing in that area. Because like I said before, I'm very much the kind of person that's like, I'm fine. I'll be okay. Like, let me go figure it out and I'll let you know how I feel. But God has worked with me, like, even almost a frustration or like a disappointment or a sadness, that like he blessed me with the friends to talk to. And so to utilize the friends that he's given me. And, you know, I'm working on that. I'm not like I said, I'm just not that kind of person that's overly emotional. Mm-hmm. And once, like, if I get to a place where I'm like crying, most people don't know what to do with that. So I don't do it often, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm going to use our example. Okay. There was something, we were having a conversation one night in Keyah's house. I don't even know, I do know what it was about, actually. Mm-hmm. We were talking about stuff, and something that she said triggered the heck out of me. And it wasn't like nothing like, oh, you did, like, it literally was, we were just talking. Mm-hmm. And it triggered me in like the midst of us talking. And it was one of those times like I didn't have a place to run and go to by myself to process it, because I was sitting in her living room on her floor. So it was like there was nowhere to run, because I'm in her house. I can't just run around to like a random place and like cry it out. Mm-hmm. So I turned into a puddle on her floor. It was a moment indeed. Mm-hmm. But like, even in that moment, it was one of the things where Keyah was like, ooh. But in that moment, it did solidify a lot of things for me, because Like I said, I'm not the kind of person that's like, this is what's wrong. No.
Yeah, but I still feel like I did a very good job of supporting you in that moment.
Oh, you did. I was getting to that.
Okay.
You did. Like, but that was one of the things that God allowed me to like realize, like, even in that moment, even though you were like, oh, Jesus, girl.
Yeah.
Because it was a girl.
Yeah.
Because I don't cry.
She doesn't.
I don't cry. But in that moment, her words to me were literally, friend, I don't know what to do right now, but I'm here to support you any way that you need me. And that was one of those moments where it was like, it's okay. Like, it's okay in this moment to be emotional. It's okay for this moment for me to feel this moment and go through this moment. Because normally that's kind of something that had it not triggered me, I would have held it. Because normally I'm the kind of person, if I get like emotional something during a conversation, I can hold it. I can hold it, and then when I get home, then I go cry. But I can hold it until then. But it was that conversation. I don't know what it was, but I feel like God gives divine intervention in certain moments. It was one of those things where it was like, no, like, we are friends. Like, you are the friend that I really did pray for. Because I prayed to God for me to have a friend that I felt comfortable showing my emotions in front of, no matter what that emotion may be. And he solidified it like in that moment. Like, I think about it like back, and God's like, you asked me for that, and I showed you. Like, I confirmed to you, this is the person this is your friend. And it was a good moment, because normally I'm learning now with myself that, like, because I don't show emotions very often, random things will like make me cry out of nowhere. And I think it's just all the emotions that, like, I keep inside. Because, like, literally the other day I was like watching softball on TV, and I'm like boo-hooing, and I was like, what the crap? Like, it hit me out of nowhere. I'm watching, I'm all excited, tears, and I was like, what? Why am I crying? Like, I couldn't even. Like, God is really working with me on, like, expressing my emotions when I need to express them, or going through my emotions when I need to go through them. Because, like I said, I'm very good for holding it. Like, the wedding weekend, I recently went to one of my cousin's weddings. It was so much fun. Congratulations to my cousins. It was so much fun. But one of the nights, I had a rough moment with somebody. And when I say it was rough. I was texting her in full panic. But, like, even in that moment where I knew that I needed to let my emotions go, I couldn't let it go. Because I was, I wasn't by myself. I was around people. And what I really should have released it then, I didn't. And because I didn't release it then, it low-key bothered me for the rest of that weekend. And, like, don't get me wrong, it was a beautiful weekend. It was a beautiful wedding. I had fun with my family. We cheat, ha-ha, and all that good stuff. But on the inside of it, it was almost like a mask. Because the outside was like, this is so much fun. This is great. On the inside, I'm like, I really hate life right now. But it was like, I feel like had I let it go the night that it happened, it wouldn't have carried on as further as it did. At one point in time, and this person, we had a conversation that night, and it really peed me. Because I'm the kind of person that, like, when I say I believe in you, and I believe in you to the fullest extent of your abilities, don't play in my face like that. Like, if I say I believe in you to the fullest of your abilities, and I support you in what you do, why are you discrediting yourself? Like, that kind of got me. It was a whole conversation. It was like feelings that were being talked about. And honestly, mentally in that moment, I wasn't prepared to have that conversation. And I wasn't, like, normally I know when those kind of conversations are coming, I can mentally prepare myself. Of like, girl, it's about that time. Get yourself together. You're going to be fine. But because that conversation came out of the blue, and I couldn't prepare myself. So we're having these conversations, and feelings are being discussed, and I'm upset, he's upset, we're upset. And we're not, like, disrespectful people when we're upset with one another, because we're really good friends. Like, we're friends outside of that. But it's just certain things that, like, really hurt my heart for certain people, when it's like, if I say I believe in you, and we talk about, like, how much worth you have and all this other stuff, it just kind of feels like it hurts my heart to see that you don't believe in yourself the same way I do. And then, like, it's excuses as to why you don't. You feel me? Like, but that moment, we just had a rough night. It was a rough time. And because, like I said, I was at a hotel with my family, there wasn't a place for me to go run and hide. Because normally when emotions like that come out of nowhere, I go run, I go hide, and I just got to cry it out, figure it out by myself. And then when I'm ready, I'll come back. But in that moment, there was nowhere for me to run. There was nowhere for me to hide. I'm literally around my family trying to, like, keep my crap together. And I'm like, you cannot cry right now. You cannot cry right now. You cannot cry right now. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm kiki and ha-ha and laughing. Meanwhile, I am texting Keyah a mile a minute. Girl, I just thought that was about to happen. And I'm trying to keep it together. And I'm upset about this. And I'm upset about that. Which, again, another solidifying moment of our friendship. Because I don't think I've ever panic text you like that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever panic text you in such a way. Because, like, it was, when I say my emotions were truly everywhere that night, like, like, like if it was a roller coaster, my emotions were sitting front seat. Because it was, whew. But with that situation happening, it just, again, because of it happening, I didn't let it go and I didn't let myself cry because I was literally around family the entire night up until we went to sleep. And so it was like, the next day I woke up and it was like, it was so heavy on my chest. Like, and I couldn't do anything that day. I mean, it's the day of the wedding. Like, I can't be a poop butt. And like, you know, this is like one of my cousin's most monumental days. And it was absolutely beautiful. And I had the time of my life at that wedding. It was so much fun. But it was like I said, it felt like a mass. Like, a part of me was like, this is great. I'm loving this. And I really did love it genuinely for my cousin. Like, she's amazing. She deserved this day. It was beautiful. And I'm lit for it. And it's like the behind scenes of that. We're like, girl, your feelings are still really hurt about what happened last night. You really need to release this. But it's because I just didn't have a space for me to release it that it felt like that. And later on when I prayed to God about it, and I was like, God, why you ain't take that away? You seen I was there struggling. And God was like, but I want you to feel your emotions. And I want you to know that it's okay to feel them. And you don't have to run like with your family or with your friends or stuff like that. Like, you don't have to run. And for me, that's just always been, that's my thing. Like, there are very few people that I talk to about my emotions. And when I talk to those, that one certain person, when I talk to her about my emotions, there's no filter there. But it's because there was a moment that I broke down in front of her that I couldn't hide it anymore. And in that moment, it was just like, it was peace. Because I don't like to be that person. You don't want to be the person like constantly overloads on people. And I feel like sometimes it's hard from a different perspective, right? Because like, my friend is referred to me as like the fix-it friend, right? And fix-it friend basically is like that friend that you go to, like when people come to you, my immediate thing in my mind is like, I can solve this. How can I solve this? Or if I see that you're upset, okay, how can I make you happy? What can I do? How can I fix this? What can I do for you? Like that kind of thing. Like, I'm that kind of person. And sometimes it's hard when you're like the fix-it person to be able to also express emotion. Because it's like, you come to me and you're like, for example, like you come to me and you're upset. And I feel like I can't be the person that like I need to be for you if I'm also dealing with my emotions. And I know it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing though. Like, for example, like when you and my other friends come to me, y'all are like emotional people, which is fine. I love that about our friendship. Y'all balance me out. But it's like when y'all come to me emotional, I can't respond with emotional. Yeah. Like, somebody has to be like the steady mind.
Well, yes, in that moment.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think when we're having those moments,
right,
no one's telling you that you can't have a moment too.
I mean, I know, but I guess it just kind of feels like if I'm not, like, I feel like I need to be like the sturdy person for it.
I mean, yes, in that moment, like during someone like talking to you and say they're crying or whatever. Right. Yeah, don't go on and say cry. Oh my God, I'm struggling too, because then it's like, right, let me have my moment. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I think after everything's all said and done and everybody's together, then we can talk. We can go and discuss your problems as well. And we've done that. I feel like.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we haven't. Then I'm saying.
I know.
The mindset of like how I feel. Like,
I want you to know that is not a problem to be calm when someone's talking to you about something that's going on with them.
I mean, I don't think that's a problem.
It's actually respectful.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a problem. But I'm saying, like, if I'm, for example, like with the wedding ordeal, I had so many emotions on the inside that I'm not gonna lie. Had you come to me like super emotional that day, I would have done my darndest. But on the inside, because I'm not okay, it really would have been okay, friend. Like, you got this. Okay, like, it's okay. Like, I'm trying to work through it too. But it's like, I feel like that doesn't work. Like, I can't be turmoil on the inside and like you're trying to come talk to me and I'm like trying to hold it together on the inside and then trying to talk about it. I feel like it's so much easier if I deal with my emotions just over there. And
no, because just like, I mean, yeah, that's what makes you feel more comfortable.
And this is the thing, I know in retrospect that's not how friendships work, right? Like, I know in retrospect it's okay for me to also be
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I know that it's also okay for me to be that emotional person and it's okay, like, in our friendship. But sometimes it just feels like I don't know. Like, I don't know how to describe it in a way that sounds rational.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Why? You know how just like I'm going through something and I come to you and I talk about it. Why can't you just do the same thing?
It's
Like,
I don't
does
know.
That, does like letting go not make you feel better?
I guess, and this thing, like, I do let it go just by myself. And I know that, like,
But do you prefer to do that?
I mean, that is what I prefer. Like, I prefer when I'm going through problems. That's just how I've always been, though. I prefer for me to struggle and go through it by myself. And then when I process it and I figure it out, then I can talk. Because I mean, I feel like I've done that too. Like, I've talked about issues that I have going on. It may not be in like the heat of the moment, but like, for me, that I guess that's just where I sit in like my comfortable space. Like, I'm just something about showing emotion to people. It does it on the inside, and I know that like that's not healthy, but like, and I'm working on it with my therapist. I really am, but you know, and God's talked about that more than once. Where it's like,
so you feel like God is trying to call you to be more open with your friends.
I think open with my emotions, like with my friends as well, but I think open with my emotions overall.
Okay, so no matter who you're talking to.
No matter who I'm talking to, because
Okay,
I feel like I said, I'm just very, when it comes to my emotions, I'm not, like, there are rare times that you will see me upset. Like, upset. There are rare times that you will see me cry. And God is working on me to be like, girl, you don't have to hold that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with you showing that part of being emotional.
Right.
But I think, you know, like I said, I think a lot of it comes from just like, when you have friends for so many years tell you, girl, you're the strongest person I know. Girl, you strong, girl, you got this, girl, you got this, girl, you got this. So it's like, it's one of those moments that it's like, if I let this emotion go, and I know that's not how it works, but it's like, if I let this emotion go, or if I let this emotional side show, I don't feel like the strong friend anymore. And I don't feel like I'm the strong friend like people come to. And I don't, like, I never want y'all to feel like, oh, Naomi going through it, so I really can't talk to her. Like, or Naomi a little emotional today, I can't really do that. And it's like.
But do you feel that way about us?
What you mean?
Do you feel like because we're emotional, you can't come to us?
No.
Then why would you feel the reverse?
I don't know. I said it didn't make sense. It is unrational, yes. Very. But that is how my mind has processed it. Like, I don't know where this came from, because I didn't used to be like this. I was emotional, I think, as a kid.
Yeah.
But it, somewhere along the lines, my emotions just kind of like, and I think, I don't know, I do know where it came from. I think a lot of it came from, just like I said, when you have so many friends that confide in you, and you have so many friends like expect you to be the strong person for them, it's like having moments of weakness like that for me, and it's not weakness, it's not, but in my mind, having moments of like weakness like that, it does something to me on the inside. Like, I just don't feel like I'm being the person that I should be, you know? And like, I get that it doesn't make sense. Totally get that. But like, and I'm working on it, but I think that really is where God is like progressing right now, is in my emotions and feeling comfortable enough to like, if I feel like I need to cry. Like, I just started crying in church, and that's a shame. I've been there my whole life. But I've just now gotten to the point where like, if the Holy Spirit hits me, I drop tears. Before, he'd be like, I'd have the straightest face swaying in that pew. But I've gotten to a point now where I feel free enough to do that.
Yeah.
It's working on that part of like, of me. I think that's what God is like working on progressing. Yeah. Is my emotions and feeling free to feel them whenever. And not letting them like consume me later. Because it doesn't happen often. But in moments like, for example, the wedding situation, like in moments like that, when I didn't have a place to run, it takes me over.
Right.
And God's like, that can't be how you orchestrate life, though. Because what if we out doing something one day and something happens that upsets me?
Right.
I can't hold on to it the entire weekend that we're out. Like, it's got to be let go and processed so I can keep moving forward.
Yep, because it's healthy.
Right.
See, was that so bad?
Yes.
High five. You did very, very good, and I'm very, very proud of you. Okay. So, God is working on me with trusting in Him. I feel like that is the biggest thing that we are working on right now.
You're doing good. How is God working on you with trusting Him? I don't feel so bad anymore.
the very good Lord has shown me a lot of grace, but He's also been throwing me a lot of curveballs, and I got hit with one of them. But yeah, but don't want to be specific.
As specific as you want to be.
Okay, so right now my living situation is changing, and which could be a good thing. However, it is quite scary.
I concur.
Yep. Especially when things are so uncertain. As Sarah Jakes Roberts says, I am rather ungotten. So we record here in my house. I will not be here towards the end of the month. And I don't have another place to go at this very moment. Hopefully by the time y'all see this video, it'll be more figured out.
And you'll have a place to go.
Yes. But it's so funny. Up until recently, I wasn't concerned. I was not concerned at all. But yeah. She thinks it's a problem.
I don't think that it's a problem. Y'all ever seen somebody that's like so calm in the midst of a storm? Like, I know that's how Jesus wants it, right? Mm-hmm. This one,
like we're on the boat.
And there's a big the sea storm. Is rocking. Yes. I mean, that wave was looking like it's going to crush us. And here's Keyah.
Sleep.
Oh, man, this is a good nap. I'm like,
wake up.
Don't girl, like, we about to hold out, go under. And Keyah's over there. This is a good dream. Like, dude, I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
That one just has really been...
Yeah.
God has given her so much peace.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Because those of us around her have not. Yeah. Like, it's not that we don't have peace in Jesus. It's just like, whoa, buddy, you don't want to, be a little more worried. I mean, I know you shouldn't be worried. We shouldn't worry for anything. Mm-hmm. Like, not even worried. Just a little more, I don't know, something.
Yeah. I think it's that everyone else... I think no one wants to hear that I'm just trusting God and I don't have a plan.
This is the thing. It's not that I don't want to hear that. Because... I'm not
talking about you.
Oh, I was like, because I very much fully, and we've talked about this, I fully stand on the fact that God is going to do whatever He's going to do. I'm just one of them people, you know how they have the little meme says, I know God going to do it. I'm going to worry first.
No, that is not how God wants us to be.
It is not. But but the memes like that.
Yes.
Like,
it's like that meme of the dog and his house is on fire. He's like, this is fine.
Right. That's Keyah. Yeah. I'm the person with water, like, oh my gosh, check it out. Mm-hmm. The thing is, like I said, I'm not even worried about her situation. It's just like I'm a planner.
Yeah.
And the fact that she has no plan
at all.
And in my planner brain, I am racked. Because I'm like...
I mean, I kind of stopped planning because when I was trying to figure out a living situation...
It just wasn't...
I would feel it in my heart. I said, I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is a wonderful thing that you are fully and truly committed to trusting Jesus in this moment.
Yes. But I will say, to break off from this story a little bit, there was a couple days, or it was like a week, when the panic did indeed start to set in.
Yeah.
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 And y'all don't know this, but I struggled so much with figuring out how to hear from God, and I didn't understand how He communicated with me. I was just like, I'm talking to you and you're not talking to me. But yeah, I was talking to God. He wasn't talking to me. Well, so I felt. And I had a moment where I was boo-hooing. I mean, like, I'm in my bed. I got my pillow over my head. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, you don't want to talk to me. Why? What did I do? What am I doing wrong? Are you still mad at me from some stuff I did in the past? Like I'm just going through it. Like, I'm practically begging at this point. And dang, was it the next day?
It was the next day.
Yeah. No. Tell them the story of what you did to me at work. You left me.
I didn't leave her.
Yes, you
I
did.
did not leave her. So this is the thing. Keyah and I both have learned that we are metaphor people. Mm-hmm. That's how we understand things.
That's why we give y'all so many visuals.
That's why we give you so many visuals and metaphors, because that's how we understand it.
Yes.
So Keyah was at work, like really, really having a frustrating moment.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes the best time to learn is in person. Mm-hmm. So we were walking the back way out of our job, and I was like, "Oh crap!"
And there's this little patio.
There's a little patio.
We went the back way through her classroom.
And I was like, "Oh crap, Keyah, wait outside. Hold on, I forgot something." Mm-hmm. And then I walked inside and left her outside.
Yep. And I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was just like, "Why couldn't I go in?" Because my stuff is in her classroom.
It was. I was getting her stuff too. I was getting my stuff and her stuff, and I was like, "Okay, right there." I was like, "Okay." Took my time, walked around.
And I'm looking at the trees, the birds, watching the cars go by. I was like, I do not understand this.
She did not. And I'm like, went and got her stuff, my stuff, fixed a couple things in my classroom. I was taking my sweet, precious time.
The lady was in there vacuuming.
The cleaning lady in there vacuuming. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Girl, we in there having a conversation. She's standing outside the door. Mm-hmm. Finally, I get her stuff and my stuff. Mm-hmm. And I walk by the door. I'm like, hey, kid. She's like, hey. I was like, so, did you think I was coming back? She was like, yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I was like, cool. So, like, even when I walked that way, you didn't necessarily see me. You knew I was coming back, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah. So, like, you fully trusted that at some point, even though you couldn't necessarily see that I was coming back, you know I was coming back. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, okay, Jesus, same thing. Even though, like, God never left you. Mm-hmm. And even though, like, in those moments where where it's like you can't physically see or you can't physically hear from him, he's never left you. And I'm part of some of that, like, I really feel like sometimes when we're talking to God and we're talking to God and we're talking to God and we don't hear him answering back, mm-hmm. it's because sometimes he's working on our faith. Like, I'm here and you may not necessarily hear from me right now in this moment, mm-hmm. but do you still believe me that I hear you? Do you still believe me that I'm in control? Mm-hmm. Do you still believe that, baby, everything I'm telling you, I got you? Yep. Anything I've told you before. And so that whole thing was basically one of those moments where it was like, do you still believe? Because the same way I asked her, you know it's coming back, right? Yep. There was no questions asked. Yep. I knew you're coming back.
Yep.
The same way that God hears you. Like, and he may not be answering the way you think he's answering, or he may not hear him the way you think you hear him, but he doesn't leave us. And sometimes it really is a faith-building moment where he's like, do you trust me even in the midst of? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many times where, like, we may not necessarily hear from God the way we think that we need to hear from him, but he's still there, and he's still showing us that he's there. The same way with when I was in the classroom, he could still see that I was in the classroom. I mean, it's windows. Mm-hmm. She could still see I was in there. Just as I wasn't necessarily, like, in her face, mm-hmm. she could still see that I was there. The same thing with God. Like, you may not necessarily hear from him the way you think you hear from him. Like, I'm pretty sure Keyah thought I was going to be right back out.
I did.
I was not.
She was not.
I had no plans to do that. But, like, in that same moment, sometimes we're like, in that exact moment, we're like, God, I need to hear from you, like, now. Yeah. Like, today. Like, not today, yesterday. Mm. And God's like, I'm coming. Like, I'm coming. Yeah. Trust me. Believe in me.
Yes. But I remember going home that afternoon feeling so defeated.
I know, I'm so sorry.
I know, it's not what you intended, but I felt defeated. And I just went on about my day. I was just like, all right, whatever. We'll just try again next time.
Next time came.
Yes, and next time truly did come. I believe it was the next day.
Morning.
The next morning. Hot tomato. Okay. Jesus. I felt like I had failed a test, you know?
I think we did have that conversation.
Yes.
Not that you had failed a test. I was like, you ever think that maybe sometimes, this is one of those moments? Mm-hmm.
Wait, why didn't I go to work that morning?
Your car.
Okay.
Jesus literally said, no.
Yes. Okay. So I went to work. Well, I didn't go to work the next morning. I wanted to go to work the next morning.
You woke up.
And my car just said no. Literally, it was, I put my key in the ignition and it said, click, click, click. I said, okay, guess we're not going to work. That's fine. That's, more rain on my parade. That's not a big deal, I guess. It is what it is.
Heart was so salty.
I mean, I was upset. Salty. I called my boss. I said, my car won't cut on. And my life is a mess. And Yeah. And then I called you.
You did.
I said, Naomi, my life is a mess. My car.
I'm like, wait. It's okay. Wait.
Oh my gosh. And I figured it was a battery issue. But regardless, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to take this L for the day. I'm getting back in bed. And I ended up hearing from God that morning. And if y'all ain't got the Bible app, get the Bible app.
You should really get
You
that.
should really get the Bible app.
Not sponsored or anything, but man,
no.
is it a wonderful app.
Get you the Bible app. And go to the lovely plans and find you a nice plan. Whatever you going through.
They got one.
Yeah.
And it's gonna really help you through life. Like that has helped me through certain plans that I read. It's like, oh Jesus, this is exactly.
Yeah. Whatever you're going through, they got a plan for it.
Sure do.
And I was reading this plan that I stopped reading it like a while ago, but I picked it back up. It was by Jackie Hill Perry, and it's called The Secret to Hearing from God. And boy, if I ain't hear from God,
God said, and go.
But yes, and I realized that. See, okay, this is the thing. I was expecting God to like talk to me, like how you talking to me. Mm. I was expecting to hear some voice in my head responding to me,
right?
Because I don't know if that's how God talks to you, but the way you word it makes it seem like that's how He talks to you,
more or less.
So I was just like, oh, okay. And dang it, I wish I had my Bible. There was he led me to some scripture. It was in Mark.
I was say I knew you couldn't.
So I was telling Naomi, I said I was reading Mark chapter 10 verses 17 through 31, and I said this might not be everybody's interpretation when they read it, but I was saying that I felt like sometimes we have to give up our possessions in order to follow God, and sometimes. I'm not saying I have to give up my car because I need that. But I feel like there are times where we hold on to certain possessions that God gives us. It shouldn't cause us to doubt Him.
Right.
Like it shouldn't cause like a shaken faith, basically, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And I do have some possessions. This house is a pretty big house. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathroom house that it's just me in. So I got a lot of stuff up in here. But wherever God is gonna take me, some stuff can't come. I got 6 chickens in the backyard. I don't know where I'm going, so I might not be able to keep them. It sucks. I'm gonna miss my eggs. I'm gonna miss my Hennessy.
I mean, the farm fresh eggs were hitting.
Yes, but I feel like there are times where we just hold on too tightly to just these things.
Right.
And it caused me to think, I was pretty sure it was like a battery issue that was going on with my car. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try to charge my battery and jump it, whatever, and get it fixed. My dad helped me do all that. I did get it to jump, but ultimately I ended up having just to get a new battery. And I have the money to do so I just thank God for that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. God is still good to me in the meantime. Like, He spoke to me when I was not even expecting.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, everything ended up working out. I went to work when I got my car fixed. Mm-hmm. Everything's good. I still don't know where I'm going to go.
We're going to pray on that.
Yeah, we're going to keep praying on that. And everything's going to be fine. And it's all of those who are worried, you need to chill out.
Don't be like the other side of the boat. Don't be the one worried about the wave.
God doesn't want us to be shooken by these life events. He knows. He already knows. He gets it.
Good point.
Yes. You have to. You got to read your word. You got to know God, because me a year ago, I'd have been tripping. I'd have been tripping.
I had to watch you.
But if you read your word, if you get to know God, it takes time. Your life ain't gonna change. Well, I mean, your life might change instantly, you know. But
some people have a process. Mm-hmm.
There's a process that everybody has to go through. God knows everybody, so your process is gonna be different from mine. But hold on strong to faith. And God will bless you 10 times, 100 times, a million times more when you do. Because you're showing him that you trust him no matter what. He's going to reward that. And y'all going to see that whenever I get this thing figured out.
Okay.
This setup might be different.
Gonna have to have a recap episode.
Hey.
So remember when? This where we at.
So yeah, I hope that y'all get to see my journey. Get to see where I end up. See if I actually do have to get rid of my chickens.
You never know.
You never know. But yeah, that's my spiel.
I am very proud of you. Like, high five, buddy. I am very proud of you. That was such a good... Aw, I'm so proud of you.
What did I do?
Because you know how sometimes you feel like, well, what I say don't really ain't the same as like what you say. Bro, like I be trying to tell you, fam, it ain't about what I say. Because that ain't me, that's Jesus. But the same way, like, Jesus just had a whole word through you, my brother. A whole word. I'm so proud. I'm sorry, that was a station break. It was a happy moment for me. Y'all don't understand. I love to see Keyah get to new, like, states in her relationship with God. Like, it genuinely excites me. It's like, bro, I told her all the time, sis gonna be unstoppable. When it finally, like, fully clicks, like, it didn't start to click. It's crazy because, like, you know how, like, when you have, like, a locker combination, you know, it has to go this number, that before you open it. I can see it starting to turn. And it's like, bro, when it click and it opens, problem. My friend gonna be a problem for Jesus. And I can't wait.
We gonna be a problem, friend.
That's right. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I am 100% committed to that there Lord up there.
Yes. You have to,
you got to, bro.
You got to keep your mental and your heart.
Because, baby,
focus on God.
There are some things that I have been through in life. It ain't nobody but the Lord. Ain't nobody but him.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we said, like, we went to dinner last night, as we usually do. We went to dinner, and one of the things that God, you know, I made a statement last night. We both were like, ooh, girl. But, like, as I thought about it more and more and more, it was the same I said about the heart. Of God, help me to not have a hard heart, but to have a stern heart.
Yep.
And I think that, you know, when I got home last night, I was thinking about that comment more and more. And like, literally, as we're talking, I'm thinking about it more and more. It's God, help me not to have a hard heart in moments like this, or moments when things are happening, but help me to have a stern heart. And not just when it comes to people. When it comes to you, help me to be so sternly fixed on you that it's crazy over there. That's crazy. Like, help me not to have a hard heart with you. Help me that when we're going through these progresses, when we're going through these things, help me not to be upset with you, but let my faith be so stern in you that I ain't even worried. Like here, I ain't even worried. Like,
hey man, worrying would not do me any good.
It wouldn't, and I think that's why God knows His kids, because
you'd be worried.
Oh baby, I don't even say I'd be worried, but it really does come into I am a planner.
Yes, you like to be in control, and
I do
too,
and God is working with that though.
But I feel like along this process, God has taught me that to not stress so much over things that I can't control.
Tell you, Sarah Jakes Robert, here I am, ungotten. And sometimes you just gotta be ungotten.
Yes.
Like, you gotta be okay with that.
You're gonna be all right.
And God is working with me on that, because He is, because I am a control person. I do like to. If we're going to do, like, let's say kids say we're going to do this week. Okay, cool. This week, before that. Y'all should see what our rollout calendar looked like. And half of that was my problem. Because I made it so much.
No, that's different. We were planning to do what God asked us to do.
Yeah, but I think even in that, though, God is really working on me not to be planned so much.
Okay. Because the plans that we had before
are not the plans now. First of all, we were not supposed to release anything till December.
Oh yeah.
Here we are. How 4 episodes deep?
This is probably
by the time this one comes out.
Yeah.
Here we are, 4 episodes deep in October.
Yeah.
This was not the plan. Our plan was to start in December.
Yeah.
But God had other plans.
Yep.
And so it's working on, like, as I was deleting all things out of my calendar, because like I said, when I said we had, like, this whole thing planned out, it was a rollout week. I had something planned for every single day of that week.
Yeah.
And God was like, well, Sherlock, chill, baby.
It's funny how that worked out because I feel part of the reason why we weren't gonna put out anything until December because we didn't plan to have any equipment.
We didn't, and again, God is he's so him, like, and I don't know how else to say it, but like he's so God, that it's like you just don't expect things to happen the way they happen. And it's like, because I was very much okay with, December, hopefully things will, take off from there. No worries, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then God started, like, it just kind of, like, happened. And, like, that's how, like, when he's like, it's ordained by God because it's, like, it just starts to, it literally, like, falls into place. And, like, when we put out the first video, and by the time you guys see this, the second and third, God moves such a way that it's like this is only God. Yeah. And it's like he's working on me so heavily, like not just with emotions, but just like not to worry. Yeah. Not to like stop planning so hard. I think
God talks to both of us a little bit by just placing certain things on our hearts and our spirits. And that's kind of how we got here, especially for me because I had bought some equipment, and I was just like, it was all right, but it was from Amazon. Nothing's wrong with getting stuff from Amazon, and it was good beginner equipment. But I was just like, I know that this is gonna be like way bigger than that, right? So we deserve like the best stuff, the best microphones, the best cameras, like all of that. We deserve it.
You are all or nothing.
Yes,
but I love that. Like you said, God talks to us so differently because the way that he's with you and like all or nothing in the equipment is exactly my sense when you first had the podcast to me. Yeah. And it was all or nothing. Like God was like 100%, this is it, 120, I don't care what nobody else say. And it but God, I feel like we said, though, God orchestrates it so perfectly with each other. Yes. Because if we had flip-flopped those roles, it would not have been the same.
I don't think you would have been willing to put 100% of, especially like financially, like into this. And not that that's like a bad thing, but like you said, God, God knows. He just made us perfect.
He did. We are really perfectly imperfect because, like, for me, faith is a big thing, right? And we were just talking about, how God's really trusting you through the process. When this idea first started, first of all, it started as a joke. When this idea first started, Keyah, we should do a pod. We talked about this last episode. Yeah. We were reading a story, blah, 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 and it got to the point where God was like, and I went, heard. Like, when I say God told me, this is it. Say less. Like,
it's funny. I was not expecting you to be so on board. See, sometimes God will speak through me, and I'm just like, oh no, I was just talking. But you catch me doing that all the time.
God be talking through Keyah, and Keyah do not be there.
I'm just talking.
God be a whole live talking through Keyah, and Keyah just don't. She be la la la, and I'm like, what? God just said, and you didn't. And she's like, what'd I say? And then I tell her, and it's like, really? And I'm like,
it's not a big, it's not a big deal.
No, it is definitely a big deal. I think it's only not a big deal to you because, like, in the moments that it happens, you genuinely don't realize it's happening.
No, because it's just me talking.
And I'd be sitting on the other side, like, so nobody.
She'd be so in shock, and I'd just be like, what?
Because it'd be how easily stuff slides out of her mouth. Like, she'd be talking so casually. Meanwhile, God has prophesied to my whole spirit. She just, girl. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, what? Like, but like with the podcast, when you first said it, I was like, hurt. And then later on that night, no, that might be that week, God really was like, no, but really, podcast. From the day he told me that, 120. Okay, God, let's do this thing. Keyah, are you ready? We're going to pray about it. We're going to fast about it. We're going to do that. Like, the faith department for me is where this 100% went in. Yeah. Because 120. And that's not to say Keyah didn't have faith in. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. I just think our faiths were a little different when it came to it. Like, yours comes 100% through, like, quality of things like this. Yeah. And mine came 100% with faith of lit. Yeah. I don't even know how, but we got trusted. Yeah. And you ain't even got to tell me nothing.
Yeah. But I think also, I was struggling during the startup because I wasn't sure if Like, do I invest in this?
Yeah. Is it just
God,
what God
do you
really
want
has
me?
for
Do you want me to
us?
invest in this?
Yeah.
But I was just like, it's material things, possessions.
Yeah.
So if God didn't want me to buy it, then I wouldn't have been able to buy it.
I also think that He showed you that though.
What do you mean?
God ordained it just right. Like, remember when you were trying to buy them from random Starbucks guy?
Oh yeah. I was upset about that thing.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
tried to buy some equipment. It was a camera, some microphones. It was like the whole podcast setup. For a really good price. It's like $1,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I heard from God. He was like, go ahead and do it. Invest in it. This is gonna be a thing. Like, you can do this. So I went to go do it, and it ended up falling through.
Which I find like ironic now because you still did what He said.
I did, because after that I was like, I'm gonna go do this.
Literally, but I think that was the fire that like low key you needed under you, because at that point you were still struggling hearing from God. Was this the right thing? And you thought you heard from it, and you did.
Mm-hmm.
He just wasn't the person to invest in.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that anyway.
I've bought so much stuff from Facebook Marketplace.
I just didn't like you going alone with
I do it all the time.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
My whole living
room came from. I know.
Okay.
This is the thing. It just stuff like that always makes me weary.
I know,
because I'm just like you're like yourself, and then you're tiny, and you brought Coco, but
I'm a nomad at heart. I do not care.
I know that. I know that. I guess for me, it's just like if you can't tell, I like to. Safety is a thing for me.
Yes.
It's a very big thing for me. Things that have happened in the past that I will not discuss. Safety is a very big thing for me. Mm-hmm. So like when he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go meet this person. XYZ money in my pocket and cash." What? You're going to where? Yeah, I'm at Starbucks. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I was at Target in New Garden.
Oh dang,
girl! How quickly I got there.
Yes.
Oh girl. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, guys, God is always good. You got to trust God. Do what God says. You can show your emotions. I hope that you guys have
got something from this.
Yes, got something from this. I hope you've learned. I hope this helped you with things that maybe you're going through. But we're going to wrap this up because my camera's about to die.
Yes. And stay tuned for the progression.
Yes.
Like, we did this video for a purpose.
Yes.
So that when the progression happens and things continue to happen forward,
we get to look back.
We get to look back and just, as we already know, God's going to be faithful. Mm-hmm. But it's like a physical reminder. God is so faithful.
Yes.
Even in the midst of, when we don't know, God is faithful.
Yes.
So if you take nothing else from this, God is faithful.
Yes.
And it may be a process, maybe a progress. Allow Him to work on what He's working with you.
Okay.
Because I promise you, that process is so worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please don't. Do both of those. Don't forget that.
Facts.
Do those things.
Turn on your notifications.
Follow us on all our social medias.
Hey, I have it linked below.
Okay.
And it's Keyah Rose.
It's Naomi.
And we'll see you next time on The Word.